So I was first chatting with Jackie before this event, and I thought, do you have any ideas of what I should present on? And she says, well, you can do chocolate, you can really do whatever you like. I thought, well, I could do chocolate. I enjoy very much talking about chocolate. My name is Malcolm, and I'm the owner and creative visionary of The Light Cellar. Some of you might have heard of this place. It's a place where you can find and learn how to craft your own food and medicine. And I thought, well, I could do that. I'm not going to assume that A, you're interested in health, or you want to, take on some of the things that I've tried. But if you're interested, definitely happy to share and to connect. And I thought, well, in terms of the chocolate, it'll actually do its own speaking. So I did bring some chocolate tonight. I wanted to share out with the room. Yes. Chocolate is an excellent communicator. Can do its own speech, and it speaks straight to the heart. So what I want to share with you here is my journey with public speaking and this kind of dynamic of between the head and the heart. When I first started, I've been speaking for about 10 years. It's always been in the context of food, nutrition, typically in a kitchen, where I have cutting board, bowls, appliances, foods in front of me. And that's always been kind of my default. And I've always done it spontaneously, like I'm just sharing a recipe. And I can go off on tangents, and I've always loved that work. And then the first time I ever had an opportunity to speak outside of the kitchen, it was to my father's hiking group. And it was meant to be about 45 minutes, and I think I rambled on about 2.5 hours. My father's very supportive, but he hasn't invited me back since. But it was a whole shift of dynamics, and just, those experiences have made me want to step up and learn the art and the craft of public speaking. All of us here, we have our own interests, our own business, and of course we need to know that deeply and intimately, and then we need to also learn the craft of public speaking. And I relate speaking to music. In my previous life, when I was a teenager, super into music. I lived and breathed music, to the point where, you get that question when you're in high school. You're like, what are you going to do with your life? And to me it was obvious. It was music. That's what I wanted to do. So I went to college and studied that. And what I learned from music, which I can now relate to speaking, is, anyone know someone that is like classically trained, right? Maybe they grew up playing piano, violin. My wife is like that. So you sit her down in front of the piano, starts playing, off the sheet, off the music, absolutely beautiful. Take the music away, she's a little bit more lost. I was the complete opposite, on the other hand. Self-taught, by ear, all by feel. And eventually those notes and those sheets of music came in, and it was a real struggle. Speaking, I found to be very similar. I started off just spontaneously speaking, just speaking from the heart. Sometimes when you only have 45 minutes, you go 2.5 hours. So then came the challenge of, okay, how can I refine the art and the craft? So you might be in a position where maybe coming here tonight, you've rehearsed something, you've got it written down word for word for word, or you might be showing up and completely speaking from the heart. Just like in music, I think the best approach is if you can be a master of both. So as you come to these evenings, or if you're a part of Toastmasters or any other group, try embracing both, the spontaneous and the planned and the rehearsed. Again, I have a lot of experience doing more of the spontaneous, but as I develop more of that structure, and I've learned so much by preparing 3-minute and 5-minute speeches, literally word for word, writing it out, trying to rehearse it, memorize it, which is not my strong suit. I'll literally spend weeks on a 3-minute speech, and it's like, what's that for? But I've gotten so much learning from that it begins to shift over into your spontaneity, like the great jazz musicians, right? They can sink in on a particular piece of music. They've gone through the theory to surpass the theory. Right? They're synced in on the rhythm and the harmony. They can play what's called the head, which is note for note for note for note for note, 4 bars, boom, it's straight into solos. Now it's the magic of improvisation. Can you be like the jazz greats of all time? Study the theory, develop your art, develop your craft, but when you're in the right moment, to speak from your heart, to speak freely, and to inspire. Thanks for your time, everyone.